What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Iron Digital. I'm your host D Wills here, and in today's video I'm going to be going over some bullish news for Ethereum. As you can see on this screen, Ethereum is currently trading at $2,340, so it's looking really good. Getting ready for this EIP 1559, so you know is really starting to get up there. It did obviously fall from $4,500, but we're making our way back up. Patience, people. Let's jump into this first article. We have Finance Redefined, the $500 million bet on ETH 2.0 making waves June 24th through July 1st. It says, we don't know the identity of the whale that's deposited a $500 million into Ethereum, but a look at the chain tells us a whole lot about them. It says whales can be bashful and clever creatures, but when you manage to catch one in action, it's a sight to behold. Consider, for instance, the single entity responsible for depositing 100k ETH into the ETH 2.0 deposit contract from 133 different addresses last week. Deposits into the ETH 2.0 staking contract has been picking up as of late, with 100k ETH pouring into the ETH 2 deposit contract on a single day last week. Wow. It caught the attention of the crypto space, and like most stories about on-chain activity, looking at the actual transactions and associated accounts can shed light on what went down. In this case, it seems the 100k ETH influx can be traced back to a single Ethereum address and a wallet that is responsible for funneling upwards of 258,000 ETH into the deposit contract. Wow. And the rest of this article kind of digs into trying to search for who that mega whale is, which they are not sure of. But that's a pretty big bet. I mean, 100k ETH, that's certainly a no chump change. So obviously that's bullish news for Ethereum. So you might want to be buying some more ETH right now. Not financial advice. This next article we have, here's why JP Morgan is bullish on Ethereum. Okay. Even I don't really trust JP Morgan, but let's see what they have to say anyway. An analyst from JP Morgan, a multinational investment bank, predicts that Ethereum staking rewards will hit $40 billion by 2025. I think it'll be sooner than 2025. Ethereum will soon shift over to a proof-of-stake mechanism that could potentially kickstart global adoption and increase payout, according to two analysts at JP Morgan. The blockchain technology runs more efficiently. Ethereum shift over proof-of-stake consensus, $9 billion revenue generated staking in crypto. This is the most important part of this article, really. The $9 billion revenue generated staking in crypto. That's huge. And of course, the decline in volatility and greener energy consumption drives mainstream adoption. Okay, JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon were extremely skeptic about Bitcoin and called it a fraud in 2017. Despite that, two senior analysts in JP Morgan has recently argued that blockchain technology are running more efficient energy networks. What Jamie Dimon, as I've said even in my last video, He's always been pretty bullish on Ethereum. He's never really had too much negative to say about Ethereum. If anything, he's been extremely positive and bullish about Ethereum this entire time. It's Bitcoin that he still doesn't like for some reason. Well, he has his reasons. Some of them are valid, but yeah, Ethereum. He's always been pro Ethereum for the most part. But anyway, what does this article say? Let's start here. Not only does staking lower the opportunity cost of holding cryptocurrencies versus other asset classes, but in many cases, cryptocurrencies play a significant nominal and real yield, JP Morgan's senior analyst. However, more than $12 billion are locked up in ETH 2.0 staking deposit contracts that generates an annual percentage rate around 6.4%. However, Ethereum stake pools are unable to withdraw until the ETH 2.0 updates, making investors reluctant to take their asset. I will agree. That's the only thing I don't really like about staking ETH. That's the reason why my Ethereum is currently not staked. For that very reason, I do not want it to be locked up. But if you're just talking about from a yield perspective, I mean, obviously you look at what you can get back from staking your ETH, 6.4% around that area. That's a whole lot better than what a traditional bank will give you for your cash. We already know CDs are giving you what, like 1% to lock it up for like 2 years, 2-year contracts. And if you try to withdraw early, then you'll get penalized for that. So obviously you can see the difference between the numbers, and you know that this is only going to get better from the crypto standpoint. So this is huge for institutional investors, because you can just receive yield, very low risk, just allow your money to sit and just validate transactions on a network. And we all know that the network is going to continue to get bigger. So this is some of the things about this space that people really need to listen to, and they need to see this, because it's not really a selling point for most people. Honestly, most people really don't know about this kind of stuff, but this is why they need to constantly be fed this kind of information. Because Ethereum is more than just being able to have the NFTs, or just being opposite to Bitcoin in that sense, because most people think of Ethereum as being a direct competitor to Bitcoin, even though it's not. They just have two different use cases. Ethereum is about bringing so much more into this world. That smart contracts, being able to have decentralized finance, being able to have this yield where you're able to stake your ETH with the proof of stake consensus mechanism, being able to stake that to validate transactions, getting yield. The NFTs also, of course. It's a really, really big use case. And I'm gonna show this Reddit article that I was reading, and shouts out to the individual who wrote this. I'm gonna go through this real quick, just to kind of expand your mind a bit when you're talking about, or when you're thinking about cryptocurrency. It says, if you're still thinking about cryptocurrency as being only about currency, you haven't had the aha moment that's coming. It's like thinking of cell phones as being purely about phone calls and not understanding the potential of smartphones. You hear a lot of certain breed of maxis being very dismissive of smart contracts. It's the 2004 equivalent of saying, okay, but so what? I can play a glorified version of Stake on the iPhone. Nokia still has market dominance. The full picture of what it means to make a blockchain Turing complete computer is beyond all our imagination. It's not a single feature. It's the millions of yet to be invented applications that will change the world. When smartphones first came around, there wasn't all that much to do with them either. The first real killer app of the smartphone market was email. The idea of combining it with our phone was so handy it couldn't be denied. And we already have our first killer app of smart contract platforms, DeFi. The benefit of getting yield on your crypto is undeniable. It's also clunky still, but that'll change. The interfaces will get smoother, simpler, and less confusing. And after DeFi, it'll be the next thing, and then the next, then the next. Metaverse, decentralized web, who knows? But the point is, it's coming. You hear people argue, but that isn't the point of cryptocurrency. The point is to be a currency. Technology doesn't care what things started as. Is there anyone left whose primary use of their cell phone is to make phone calls? Shouts out to the person who wrote this. This was very eye-opening. I wanted to go through and read this so that the people who happen to be listening or looking at this video can hear a broad perspective on what this technology is going to do. Because make no mistake, it's going to do this. 10 years in the future, you're going to be looking back and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, man, I remember when Ethereum was like just starting, or when Solana or Cardano, any of these other projects, when they were just getting started, and we was like, DeFi, like, that's not going to make it. we was looking at this, or we was looking at that, and just couldn't really fathom it actually getting to where it is right now. This is what people are going to be saying in the future. Mark my words, I guarantee it. Let's continue on now. Virtual real estate takes off with backing from billionaire Mike Novogratz. So, the virtual real estate market is taking off. Crypto billionaire and investor Mike Novogratz, venture capitalist firm Galaxy Interactive, is making a substantial investment in virtual real estate developer Republican Realm. The deal was announced in a Reuters exclusive, but terms were not disclosed at this time. So they must be getting into the metaverse play. Yeah, this is the metaverse play then. Let's read the rest of it. Digital real estate receiving this vote of confidence in the form of a sizable investment from Novogratz VC firm bodes well for the growing industry. Despite owning many digital companies itself, Galaxy Interactive is in the portfolio of companies owned by Galaxy Digital, which Novogratz is the CEO of. Galaxy Digital is a leader in the world of digital asset investing. Recently, Republic Realm had a $10 million funding, but the investment from Galaxy Interactive is separate from that one. 2 weeks ago, Republic Realm also made headlines when it bought a plot of virtual land for nearly $1 million. With investment and innovation like this on the blockchain, they are sure to continue pushing the boundaries of what digital assets are and how they can be used. So, all the Sims players out there, the people who like the Sims games and you like how it is when you're playing there, being able to be involved in the metaverse is going to be a really big play in the future. Being able to advertise on there, and you think of majority of people are constantly in their phones and being really into that world. It just gives businesses another way to be able to advertise their products, seeing as though majority of people are going to be operating through that metaverse. It's almost like a game in a sense. So, positive news for the metaverse. Okay, let's see what this. Okay, Jack Dorsey rejects Ethereum. That's cool. Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey has continued to reject Ethereum as a viable investment. This comes amidst calls for the billionaire to explore other altcoins besides Bitcoin. Dorsey remains a Bitcoin maximalist, as he says that Bitcoin is the most important thing to happen in his lifetime. All this despite the fact that his company Twitter has released 140 NFTs on the Ethereum platform. This followed the news of Twitter releasing NFTs on Ethereum. A user on the platform has said it would only be a matter of time before Dorsey invests in Ether, and the billionaire replied no to the user. Okay. There's a couple ways to look at it. First of all, when he says no, that doesn't mean that you have to believe him. He could be invested into Ethereum right now. I told you, I don't really believe, most billionaires when they try to put this stuff out there, because I think most of them try to sway the market back and forth. So just because he said no, that doesn't mean that he's not invested into Ethereum. He could very well be invested into it. And another point is, just because he's using Ethereum, that also doesn't mean he has to be an investor in it. I'll just use what Michael Saylor's point is. He tries to point that Ethereum and Solana, Cardano, just the altcoins in general, they're trying to go more for applications, right? So you're like being a VC investing into a technology company, and Bitcoin is an actual asset, a digital store of value asset. So that's the distinction between the two. He can very well use Ethereum to have his NFTs and still not invest into it. He doesn't necessarily have to invest into it because he wants to keep his money into what he deems as being a store of value and just an actual asset class. But he may not want to actually invest in Ethereum. Most people think that doesn't make sense. I mean, I don't really think it makes much sense either to have your stuff sitting on top of Ethereum but not want to invest into it. But, he's saying, that Bitcoin is it for him. And he's replying, no, he's not going to invest in Ethereum. That's what he's saying. But, again, we don't really know whether that's really the case or not. So just keep that in mind. I mean, they just lie all the time. But anyway, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Happy holidays to everyone. I will talk to you soon. Take it easy. Peace.